from the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel. This is a winter weather alert.
All right, folks, good morning to you. It is 8 o'clock in the Tennessee Valley. I'm Ben Luna alongside Fred Gossage here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center as we continue to track the winter storm of 2025. It is cold across the area this morning, with many of you now seeing multiple inches of snowfall. Rates are varied, though, with the highest amounts coming in from North Alabama and still staggering amounts building in southern Tennessee in our viewing area this morning. Let's go to our Arctic Air Skycam network. We're going to take a tour of a few cameras this morning and show you what's going on. This is outside our backyard here at the Tennessee Valley Weather Center and our studio building that's overlooking our little pond in the back, and then Bobby Brewer Park you can see in the distance where the baseball games are played, softball games here in Lawrenceburg. But notice our pond is frozen over. We've got a decent little sheen of ice on top, and then snow is accumulating on top of the ice that's on top of the pond. So a really cool picture there to see. By the way, 29 degrees outside our window here this morning. It is looking similar across the area as we continue to take our tour of cameras across the region for you. Let's switch over and take a peek at radar this morning. And again, snowfall is covering the entire area from Mississippi all the way through Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, and Georgia this morning. We'll put radar into motion where you can see just how expansive this storm system is as it continues to pull through the area. And as Fred will go over with you here in just a little bit, we are looking for a day-long event. This is not something that's about over with by any stretch of the imagination, as many of you will still wind up seeing several inches of snow to accumulate here before we're all said and done with. I want to show you just a couple more of the cameras that we have on the deck this morning. Here's a live look at Athens. This is at the intersection of Highway 72 and Interstate 65. Looks like there's a little plow working along 65 there, just going under the bridge at the moment.
He's the little plow that could.
The little plow that could. You're exactly right. But notice the difference. Traffic is steady on 65 in Alabama at the moment. 72 looks pretty rough, and that's just from my opinion there as we take a peek there. Did you want me to do the, which other ones you want me to take? Just pick one. Let's take a peek and see how things are going on at the Singing River Bridge in Florence. This is down by Namsey. It's there, I promise. You can kind of see it in the distance, but I mean, that is thick, thick snow, and visibility is really down to nothing. Let's look at the UNA camera and get an overall perspective from.
And those are some big flakes collecting on the camera lens too.
Yeah. That is to the south. Yeah, that's looking almost in it.
Near due south.
Near due south. But yeah, I would say visibility is down to 150, maybe 200 yards at this point in Florence. Here's a live look at Loretto. This is our Loretto camera at in-service towing on Highway 43. And 43 is in rough shape right now through Loretto. We had our camera crew out earlier this morning. Cam and Dustin were through there, and they said that it was pretty rough all the way down to the state line. Want to switch over and take one more peek. Mark Gandy is out doing a little streaming for us this morning. And again, things are not moving as fast as what you see. It's just the stream catching up there. Looks like he's pulled off Highway 43, helping someone in distress this morning. And then one more, and then we'll toss over to Fred. Let's do Bryant's cam, because Brian is still out and about. Any idea where that may...
It'll take me a second. Hold on. Let's see what he's coming up on.
4372.
Okay. Well?
TJ Maxx. Lowe's.
Oh, okay. He's on Cox Creek coming up on the Bojangles.
Yeah.
That's Cracker Barrel on the left right there.
Yeah.
You're coming up on Florence Boulevard from the south.
So Cox Creek's in rough shape. And by the way, this is live video that you're seeing across the area this morning. So, I mean, we are looking at a very, very messy day.
Now, you notice once I saw where the restaurants were, I knew right the devil where that was.
I was going to say that. I thought about it, and I almost said it. He circled past that chicken place that you really like that we went to that day by your house.
Champies. Don't do that.
Anyway, that's it from the weather desk this morning. When are we going to go make a snowman outside?
Yeah, we'll get to it this afternoon. You know, we're not really in forecast mode anymore because we're deep into the event. So, you know, our forecast maps that we have, we still want to talk about. It's really just giving you the expectation of how this will continue to play out because we're deep into the event now. We're not figuring things out. We're just watching the radar trends play out today. Winter storm warning continues for all of North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee, and northeast Mississippi on through 6 a.m. Saturday morning for all this snow that we have across the area, and then the potential for a little bit of sleet and freezing rain to mix in. That's trying to get closer to our southern counties, but it's having a hard time punching into the area so far. Timing for this, as we've been talking about, is between now and this evening before this stuff tapers off across the area. Snow with some potential for sleet and freezing rain. Starting to get more questionable for the Tennessee side because it's taking so long to punch into North Alabama. And I think a lot of it is because of all this evaporational cooling we've had over North Alabama in this heavy snow band area. It's just like when you have really heavy rain falling north of a warm front when we're looking for thunderstorms to see if they're going to come north, and how that heavy rain north of the warm front can sometimes keep the warmer air from coming north. It's kind of the same situation. The heavy snow falling north of this warm nose has kind of been holding it back from punching fully up into the area. So we're starting to question just how far north that warm nose at 5,000 feet will be able to come north into the area. This is turning out to be a widespread heavy snow across a large part of the area, as you know. Still talking about when everything is said and done, once we add up all the accumulation, a 4 to 7 inch band range there in the heavier totals. Isolated spots could be a little heavier than that in some hit or miss areas. Still talk about the potential for that wintry mix this afternoon, especially on the Alabama side of the state line before things taper off. Widespread travel impacts will continue not just today, but tonight, and then linger at times into the weekend with the melting and refreezing process. You can see what I'm talking about here. There has been a slight northward jog with the mixed line over the past 30 to 60 minutes, but it's really had a hard time punching up into the area, and it's a little farther south than even the models that we're handling this morning really well have had it for this time of day. So it's been trending a little farther south than what we expected. We'll see how far north that snow mix line comes north, but a large part of North Alabama is still seeing really heavy snow rates, and it's starting to cross the line now into southern Middle Tennessee as well. So snow will be picking up in intensity in southern Tennessee as well. We're still locked into the upper 20s to lower 30s with the surface air temperatures. Roadway temperatures noticed in more and more spots in the till area starting to drop into the mid-20s as snow gets heavier, and that refrigerates the road surfaces. So these hazardous conditions will continue for the rest of today. Here's Futurecast, and notice that it's a little too far north by about 10 to 15 miles with the snow sleet mix. So we're going to have to keep that in the back of our mind as we work through today. There is a question mark of whether this will really punch north into Tennessee. It's still possible we get the sleet to move into Tennessee, but it's becoming less of a guarantee than what it earlier looked like. Things tapering off into the evening hours, and then we stay cloudy and cold with overnight lows down into the 20s again, and maybe a few patchy flurries as we head into the morning hours of our Saturday here. So when all's said and done, and we take all this snow accumulation that is added up across the area, we're talking about a widespread 4+ inch snow across southern Middle Tennessee, a large part of northwest Alabama, pretty much near and north of Alabama 24 that runs from Red Bay to Russellville to near Moulton. We'll say north of there, then over to Decatur, these areas north in Alabama, then through southern Middle Tennessee back into Tishomingo County, 4+ inches, and in some isolated spots here, maybe as much as 7+ still on the table, not impossible. So heavy snow here, but even south of these areas, all the way down to Highway 278 in North Alabama, we are already verifying 2 to 4, and it's still snowing in parts of Lawrence County and Morgan County where we're already verifying those 2 to 4 inch totals. So we've had to trend up with the numbers this morning. Still the potential for a little bit of light icing over North Alabama south of the Tennessee River. Still can't rule out sleet as far north as Middle Tennessee, but again, it's not as much of a guarantee as it was earlier looking like. It's a little more in question now. We'll watch to see how that plays out. High impact winter storm continues. One thing we'll watch for in the higher snow zone is the potential for some short-lived type power outages if we see a few tree limbs fall onto some power lines, because you know we have tree limbs that are weakened from the drought we've had, weakened from previous storms in the spring and the summer, weakened from the big winter storm we had last January. It makes those easier to fall when they get a little weight on them, so we could have a limb fall on a power line and cause a short-lived power outage today. We'll be watching that carefully across the area. Winter storm warning continues for all of the viewing area through today and tonight, expiring at 6 a.m. Our next live update will be at 9 o'clock this morning, and we'll continue to have hourly live updates through the winter storm as we work through today. For Ben Luna, I'm Fred Gossage, live from the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. Stay with Tennessee Valley Weather. We'll keep you advised.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.